Okay, we are down to the last few weeks of work and it's come a long way. Let's have a look inside and see how this place looks. So many videos ago, we talked about bringing in the washer dryers ahead of time, getting them all installed, out of sight, out of mind. The reason for that is, you can imagine if we had brought the rest of the kitchen appliances in at the same time, this place would be completely overwhelmed, that we would have nowhere to walk or set up our equipment. Now that the fridges have been delivered and installed in place, have a look at them. This is what you call a built-in fridge. Notice that there's no panels on top of the doors. And the reason for that is this kitchen was designed so that the drawer faces and the door faces of the cabinets will match up with the ones that will be installed on the fridge and the freezer. These ones will be the exact same color and manufactured from the same place so that the kitchen looks very, very blended in. And this also applies to the dishwasher. So the panel in the front of the dishwasher will also be matching the ones for the doors and the drawer faces. For this kitchen, we decided to go for Gaggenau. And Gaggenau is a European appliance brand. They're very famous for having a nice, sleek look. I'm really excited about putting in this cooktop. I've done this one in the past where the cooktop burners are on this surface and the controls are on this surface, but the controls are actually mounted on a millwork panel and they're all lit up with LED lights and stuff. It's cool to see. I can't wait to show you when that's finished. We also have incorporated a steam oven and a full-size oven along with the kitchen package. And check this feature out. I've done it several times as well. This is what you call the social corner. How appropriate. The stainless steel face of this sink is actually exposed on two sides. It takes up half of the island, so it actually sticks out as a feature part of the island. What a great name to have, a social corner. This makes sense. Another feature I like to incorporate into my houses is I like to use very large size main kitchen sinks. In this case, we have a 36-inch apron sink. The finish is stainless steel. This part's exposed. It's kind of adds a nice touch to the kitchen area. You'll have the blended colors and you have this nice chunk of stainless steel sticking out. That's a bit more robust feel to the kitchen. Along with that, we have a cup rinser, which is the first time I've installed this one. You put the cup on top of here and it just spins and rinses out your glassware. I really like using this Julian Apex faucets. This one's for the main sink. It's got a separate joystick. We have the exact same one over here. However, it's for the social corner sink. This is called the prep sink faucet, which is the exact same style, just a little bit shorter, just to give it a bit more appropriate ratio when it comes to a larger sink and a smaller sink. Another feature very common in Vancouver houses right now is built-in vacuums. You might imagine back in the days you're carrying around a big hose stored in a closet. Whenever you need to use it, take it back out, and then once you finish, call it back up. Well, there's a new system in place. It's been in use for a while now. It's called a hide-out hose. Just simply flick open the door. For this one, we specified a 40-foot hose, so we have 40 feet of hose tucked inside the vacuum pipes. Once you have enough hose, you put a lock on it, you simply turn on the switch, and the suction comes from a centrally mounted vacuum canister downstairs. Now this is a pretty powerful vacuum. This is more than enough that you need for a house this size. Once you finish with it, simply unlock it, put your hand on the cover, it'll suck it all back inside the walls. No need to store anything. It's all self-sufficient and it's very quiet as well. Great product to use for any new house. And here I want to show you a completed SensoWash toilet system. This is a bidet installed. We talked about many videos ago how to install it without any wires or hoses showing. Well, this is it. Have a look around, nice and clean. It's got nothing attached to it. However, it's fully functional. It's got its own water supply. It's got its own electrical connection to power up the heater and all the other functions of the seat. And it's nice and clean. Builders, this is one tip for you. Of course, during the construction, things get chaotic, things get unpackaged. A lot of times things get lost. What I like to do is, if there's very important components such as remote controls, I would tape them to the sink to make sure that nothing gets lost and that it's always visible. One very important tip, because those things, they can get costly to replace. So for the sinks, I chose a product that's wall-mounted. It's a Canadian product actually, made by Ruby. This is the wall-mounted faucet. Pretty sleek in design, modern. For the shower, I chose something a bit more unique. Have a look at the glass for the showers. Most of the doors in this house are 10M, aside from the sliders for the tub. But nice, heavy-duty, great feel to it, and black handles and black hinges for a bit of accent. Complements the black plumbing fixture. But check out this smooth transition that goes from the tiles to the shower base. Just like barely 1/8 of a lip, but this is sloped. It's got a nice textured surface. pretty much stepless. Definitely a big improvement over a step versions from standard shower pans where they're like 3.5 inches tall. This is much more pleasant to look at, much more pleasant to step in and out. Beautiful to work with, and very nice to touch when you step on it with your feet. And overall, it adds to the uniqueness of the modern look. As you walk around the house, you'll see the handrails have been installed. Again, black, just for accents. Nice flat bars, just modern details. I want to bring you over to this switch right here. You notice that this is a 6-button keypad. These are made by Lutron. This is an RA2 system. We talked about in the past videos where if you were to install separate light switches to operate separate areas, you probably have like 6 switches here because you know, there's a living room lights, there's outside lights, stair lights, there's whatever lights that come in, outside porch lights. You can't possibly make that look good. But at the same time, you need to function. So how do you get around that? This is a great way of doing it. 6-button keypads, 1 button controls 1 zone. Or you can create different scenes so that 1 button control multiple switches. Each switch can have their own dimming levels. They're gonna have their own timing levels. Very flexible, but the system is all produced under the Lutron RA2 brand. So you might gonna ask, where are all the switches located then? Well, let's have a look. So again, instead of packing 6 switches right by the door, you can remotely locate them, for example, in a storage closet, and see how we have 3 packs of 3? Well, those are for different areas, controlled by different buttons on the keypad. Now that cluster of switches can be hidden away, and all you're left with is one beautiful looking keypad at the front door, which has different programming and maybe different scene programming, so you can operate all the lights in your main floor or the rest of your house from that one area. So some good news for you control freaks out there. This system also can be tied to your smartphone, so that you can buy a device that links these keypads so you can control your lighting from the other side of the world if you want. This front entrance area is actually a deck above living space. So below where we're standing is a bedroom. And this area is usually treated a little bit differently when it comes to how you tile the surfaces. In this case, because it's a torch-on surface below, we had to maintain accessibility, yet not damage the torch-on surface. So how do you apply these tiles to it and yet have it level? Because if you can remember, this deck is also sloped towards the front. So have a look here. If I expose the insides, you'll see a pedestal system. This is the original torch-on surfaces. These pedestals are resting on top of it, held down by the weight of the stone. And these are adjustable in height so that from the back side to the front, if it's tapering, these can adjust accordingly to suit this level of this tile, which sits nicely on top of it. The front face is also tiled to finish it off. But now you have a fully accessible area in case you need to access it for repairs. It also satisfies the assemblies required for decks above living areas. When we built the retaining walls, we had inserted conduits for future LED wiring. Right now it's still preliminary, but these channels will have LEDs stuck on top of them so that it'll light up the entire area at nighttime. These are all on dusk to dawn sensors, so in the daytime they don't come on, but nighttime they come on automatically. We'll get a good video at nighttime to show the effects when the house is completed. In addition to the retaining wall lights, we also embedded a couple of these walkway lights. Very, very beautiful lighting at nighttime. So as we are approaching the end of the job, all the materials are slowly being taken off the site. Areas are just left for landscaping. There's only a few patches to be done. We're down to the last few weeks of the job, and I can't wait to show you the final showcasing video when it comes time. Sequencing for the laneway house is very similar to the house. In fact, the laneway house caught up to the main house, if not even a bit more advanced, but look at this great area we work with. How many laneway houses do you know have this kind of ceiling? So just again, the doors for the millwork, bit of finishing, cleaning, and we're done. And just before we leave the site today, I want to show you these nice panel/handrails that are built together. Beautiful, modern, simple, minimalist.